Hello everyone and welcome back to King's Aquariums in LiQWYD, and in today's video we're going to be doing some filter maintenance on my Betta Choice 2000 external filter, and that is hooked up to my monster fish aquarium. So without further ado, let's get our hands dirty and dive straight into the video.
First things first, we will be unhooking the pipe attachment from the main filter. Just ease that out, and then we're going to pull the filter out from underneath, and then Arnold will grab a bucket and just pop the pipe ends into the bucket, just so that we can be sure there's going to be no leakages or anything, and then Arnold will tip all the water out. So now we're going to unclip the 4 big clasps from the sides of the filter, which will allow the filter lid to be lifted off. And then we're going to pop that into a bucket out of the way until we're ready for it. And then Arnold's just going to empty the filtration media into the bucket, all the filter sponges in the top, and then the next low down is again some more filter sponges, and then in the next cartridge there is full of Cyrax, and in the bottom of the filter are some bioballs and some Alpha-Grog, and Arnold's just going to give this a nice clean up with a cloth. Just make sure we get as much debris off the sides of the filter for the clean out, and just get that all looking ship shape. And the reason we haven't taken all that out of the bottom is because that last part doesn't actually come out of the filter, that's fixed. So now we're going to just empty out all the Cyrax and give that all a good rinse in the tank water, and give the cartridge a good clean, and get all any excess debris off it all, so it's all nice and clean to go back together again once we're finished. And so now we're just popping that one back in. Then we're going to sort out all this Cyrax, make sure it's had a good rinse around in the bucket, and then just scoop that out and put it back in. So now we're going to be cleaning the coarse sponge layer and tray in there. So now he's just going to properly rinse out and wring out the sponges, just make sure they're all clean to go back into the tank, using tank water, so that helps keep as much beneficial bacteria on the sponges inside the filter also, as washing them under the tap can kill a lot of the beneficial bacteria that you have stored on your sponges, which would not be very good. And so I've just popped that back in there. You can see how it all fits in. And now we are going to be cleaning the next tray of sponges. So just popping this last tray in to the filter, and then we're going to again just make sure we thoroughly clean and wash the sponges as much as we can in the water from the fish tank. And then we're just going to pop them back in once we're done. And you can see all the sponges in that top layer, And then we're just going to give the lid for the top layer a good clean as well. And then we're going to just pop that all back in on top of all the media and the sponges. So now Arnold is very carefully just unscrewing this casing which covers the UV light, just to check on it all and make sure it's all fine there, and then give the inside of the casing a really good wash in a mow as well. So we're just carefully getting the screws undone so that we can have a good look inside. And here you can see the primer, which Arnold is now pushing down, and then the light casing here as well, which he's just opening up to show you all how it all goes and looks. So now you can have a good little look at the bulb of the UV light inside the filter, and we're just going to screw the casing back on all nice and snug. And then Arnold is just going to give that a good little clean as well, just get any gunk and debris off it that's accumulated from obviously the fish. And then this is where the impeller is. You can see the shaft there, just unscrewed. And then Arnold's just going to take out the impeller once he can lever it off. There we go. He's now going to do it, and then he's going to just give all of this a nice good clean once he manages to take it out, and he has. And so then he's now just giving the inside of where the impeller goes a good little wipe down and clean with a nice cloth. He's going to just use the tweezers to move the cloth around inside, make sure he really gets down into there to take out all the accumulated debris from inside. And then he is also just washing the impeller itself, making sure that's all nice and clean and got all the debris off there also. And then that will be able to just slot back into the filter. So once that's all nicely back in, he's then going to wash the shaft and just give that a wipe over just to make sure that's all clean as well and refreshed and everything. And then that's just going to go and slide back in where the impeller is and just hold that all nicely in place, and that just slides in. And then you push down and give it a twist to lock it into place. So that's all good and done. And then Arnold's just giving it another wipe over just to make completely sure and certain that it is as clean as he can get it. So now we're unscrewing the top of the primer, and then we're just going to push that out because it's got very, very stiff and it doesn't really move up and down very nicely, and it was helping to trap air in the filter, which is obviously what you don't want. And then Arnold is giving that a nice wash on the inside, just again make sure that it's not due to a build-up of debris. And then he's also going to give the actual primer part a nice little wipe over as well, just to make sure it's all clean too. And then we're going to lubricate this up a bit with some oil. It's 100% vegetable oil, which our local fish shop assured us would be absolutely fine to use to just wipe around the inside where the shaft goes, and then just to put a little bit on the plunge bit so that it's all moves up and down a lot easier and just lubricated up so that it does its job properly. And then we're just going to slide that back in, and you'll see just how much easier that just slides right through now. So that's a lot better. And then we just screw the end back on as well, the little handle that you use from the outside to pull it up and push it back down again. And now you can see how much easier that moves up and down. It's a lot better. And now we're going to just wash the casing for the primer and the UV light. Make sure that's all nice and clean and there's no debris build up on or around that area. So now that's all nice and clean, we're just gonna slot it back on top, line up the screws, and then Arnold will screw that all back into place nice and securely so we know that it's not gonna wiggle around or anything when it's working. And then once that's all, and then we'll get that all screwed on nicely. So now we have some Seachem Prime, which we're now going to put the required amount of drops into our bucket and then fill the bucket up so that we can fill up the filter nicely, ready to be all connected back up again. And now we are putting the lid back on the filter and then give those clips a nice good old snap to shut them and secure it all nicely so that we won't have any leaks or anything. And then Arnold is just adding some Bacterlife, which is a beneficial bacteria, and that helps to neutralise any ammonia or nitrate and just break down organic matter and any fish debris that they create. And so he's just going to pour that into the filter just to make sure, give it a nice top up so that that helps it all restart all nicely. And then he's just giving the top a nice little wipe down just to make sure it's all nice and clean. And then we will be putting it back under. So now Arnold is lining up the pipe connectors and slotting them into the filter, making sure they're all clipped securely into place so they're not going to have any leaks. Then we'll just slide the filter into place up in the cabinet under the tank, and that's all set up. And Arnold's now pulling the primer, and that just helps to expel any air out of the filter, as you can see coming out of the filter outtake at the top here inside the tank. So this is the filter all connected up, and we can see it, the filter pushing around a lot of debris and sucking it up through the intake nicely. And then this is just a closer look at how the pipes are all connected up to the drill points of the tank. And this is the filter foam that we use. It comes in a big pack with 3 different coarsenesses, and it's a big pond filter set that we get from our local fish store, and you can see the various types here.
So there you have it then, guys. That is the end of today's video. I hope you all went on to enjoy me showing you how I clean my canister filters. If you went on to enjoy this video, please smash that like button, think about subscribing and turn that notification bell on so you won't miss out on future content. We have some awesome content coming up in the future. And make sure you keep an eye out for the pumpkin face, and let me know in the comments below when you found that pumpkin face and the time of the video. So without further ado, thank you again so much for watching, and goodbye. Hang on. Ready? You ready? Happy birthday, Mum!
Happy birthday!
Yay!
Yay,